We're getting some much needed rain right now. It was really pouring down a very short while ago. Our back garden, backyard, whichever you want to call it, is it's seen the benefits of it, and there's quite a bit of water pool in there. And I hear the sounds of thunder rolling in, but I don't think it's going to bother us. Let's see. Today's reading is called Gifts of the Journey, and the first quote is from the great Persian poet Rumi, the great Sufi and Persian poet Rumi, who says, "Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along." And Ernest Holmes in Richer Living says, "The action of intelligence takes place in loving ways. What God hath wrought hath been by means of love." And so that's from Richer Living. And this is Rev David Alexender in his second to last contribution for this year at least. He says, "Today my beloved and I celebrate our first wedding anniversary. The 5 years before this date were a surprise for both of us. Neither of us was searching, neither clinging, neither pushing away. After long-term relationships dissolved, we each reached a season of contentment, a place where we felt whole on our own, no longer searching for someone to fill any perceived gap." He says the 5 years of being together before marriage have been among the most blissful of my life. And yet, when we reflect on the gift of what we now share, we pause to give thanks for everything that we ever had before. The relationships that didn't last, the heartbreaks, and the hard lessons. There's a saying that you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince. But maybe it's truer to say that at every step, even the seemingly wrong ones, it's all part of the maturing journey toward clarity and toward readiness. Life's creative process is like this. When we live in the craving energy of lack, chasing something outside of ourselves, what we desire often remains out of reach. When we rest in equanimity, content in our own being, well, creation responds. What is truly aligned can then find its way to us. He says, each day my partner and I laugh, give thanks, and honor the entirety of our journeys. Had we met earlier, before deeper roots were planted, well, perhaps this union wouldn't be what it is now. Today we celebrate not only our marriage, but the long, winding road that brought us here. The gifts of experience, patience, and grace. So what do I think about this? Well, it kind of reminds me of my own journey. I was actually working in Saudi Arabia, and I was a bachelor. I didn't date out there because dating out there was really not my scene. Why? Because people just slept around, and I wasn't really into that. So when I suddenly got transferred to the Netherlands, I wasn't expecting anything. And then I met someone and I thought, no, this could develop into a relationship. And then that someone got sent off on a business trip to Saudi Arabia for a couple of months. And in the meantime, Barbara, who's not my wife, claims she didn't know about this other relationship. But anyway, the bottom line is she stepped in, and we've been together ever since. And that's 45 years ago. And I got to say, life probably was going to be ready for this because we both had completely different paths. Barbara had been married once before, and it really didn't turn out too well. And in fact, that's an understatement. And I had never been married. I'd had some girlfriends, but I'd never been married. And I didn't even know if I ever was going to settle down and get married. But there you are then. But I was on a spiritual journey as well, and it kind of led me to where I am now. So what I get back from this is reflection on how life just kind of came together without me ever expecting it. And the lesson we can all learn from this is that if we focus on being ourselves and being grateful for what we have in the moment, whether it's a relationship, it's the stuff we have, it's the house we live in, it's the job we got, whatever it is, if we focus on being grateful, it is my honest belief that life will direct us towards what is going to be the best for us in the long term. And that may or may not be a long-term relationship for a lot of people, but for most people, it probably is. So anyway, yeah, I'm rambling a bit. My voice is kind of wacky because I do have a bit of a cold. I guess I'm nasal. And I may or may not make an appearance in person at Creative Life Spiritual Center tomorrow. See how that goes tomorrow morning. But if not, I'll be there online. So that's 11 o'clock tomorrow. If you're in the vicinity of Spring, Creative Life Spiritual Center, come in person. You can always go online, go to creativelife.org. You'll get the link, and you can just go on the Zoom link for the service. And otherwise, you can tune in to my colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, tomorrow morning at 9:15. I hopefully will be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock-ish. And yeah, I'm pleased that it's raining a lot because we really needed it around here. The little pond near here that we used to have ducks in. I don't have ducks anymore. I don't know why, but anyway, it was in need of water. It had dropped down. Beginning of the year, I mean, earlier on this year, we had lots of rain. Then we had a big dry period, and now it's coming back. So, but going back to spiritual journey, I really do believe that if you are grateful for everything that you've got right now, that life, God, Spirit, the All is going to deliver to you that which is for your highest and best good. And with that, I'm going to say his affirmation is, I trust the timing of my life, knowing that every step brings me closer to love's deepest truths, and love in all its many, many senses and varieties. So my prayer for everyone today is, I'm just knowing that each and every one of us here are grateful for what we have in our life, that we are truly grateful, and that life will bring to us that which is for our highest and best good. And I release this as a prayer into the divine mind, calling it done, and so it is. So until next time, namaste.